How malignant narcissists manipulate you without you knowing. Let's start with a question. Have you ever walked away from a conversation or relationship and felt drained, confused, or even questioning your own sense of reality? If you've experienced this, you may have unknowingly crossed paths with a malignant narcissist, a master manipulator who operates in ways so subtle, so insidious, that their tactics often go undetected until it's too late. But here's the terrifying part: they thrive on this invisibility. Their power lies in their ability to distort your perception of truth, to pull strings from the shadows, and to make you question what you thought you knew about yourself. Now, before we dive in, let's be clear about what we're dealing with. Malignant narcissism is not just about arrogance or self-centeredness. It's a toxic cocktail of traits: manipulation, lack of empathy, an insatiable hunger for control, and often a deep-seated cruelty. Nietzsche, one of the most profound philosophers to ever live, warned us about figures like these. He wrote about the concept of resentment, a destructive envy that drives certain individuals to tear others down because they cannot elevate themselves. Malignant narcissists personify this resentment. They don't build their power through their own strength or achievements. They parasitically leech it from others, draining their victims of confidence, clarity, and peace of mind. But how do they do it? How do they manipulate you without you even realizing it? Let's break it down. The first tactic they use is gaslighting. You've probably heard the term before. It's become almost a buzzword, but don't let its overuse diminish its potency. Gaslighting is the art of making someone doubt their own reality. It often starts small. A narcissist might deny saying something you clearly remember, or they'll subtly twist a past event to suit their narrative. Over time, these small distortions pile up until you're left questioning your memory, your perception, even your sanity. Nietzsche would call this a war on your will to truth. He believed that our ability to perceive and assert truth is one of the highest expressions of human strength. But malignant narcissists chip away at this strength, leaving you disoriented and vulnerable.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
Here's a question to sit with: what happens to a person when they can no longer trust their own mind? Think about that deeply. If you can't trust your own thoughts, your own memories, your own instincts, then whose reality are you living in? This is the point of gaslighting, not just to confuse you, but to make you dependent on the narcissist for a sense of reality. They position themselves as the ultimate arbiter of truth, and once they've done that, they have you in their grip. The second tactic they use is projection. This is where things get even more twisted. Projection is when a narcissist accuses you of the very behaviors or flaws they themselves possess. For example, if they're lying to you, they'll accuse you of being dishonest. If they're manipulating you, they'll claim you're the manipulative one. It's a psychological sleight of hand, a way of deflecting attention from their own actions while keeping you on the defensive. Nietzsche might describe this as a strategy of the weak. Those who cannot confront their own flaws and inadequacies must instead cast them onto others. But here's what makes projection so effective: it preys on your sense of empathy and self-reflection. If you're a thoughtful person, you might actually stop and wonder, am I the problem here? And just like that, the narcissist has shifted the focus away from their behavior and onto you. Let me ask you something: how often have you taken responsibility for someone else's dysfunction? Malignant narcissists count on this. They know that empathetic, introspective people are easy targets because they're willing to examine their own role in a conflict, even when the conflict was orchestrated by the narcissist themselves. Nietzsche believed that self-reflection is a vital tool for growth, but in the hands of a narcissist, it becomes a weapon they use to undermine you. They twist your virtues, your empathy, your introspection into vulnerabilities they can exploit. And this brings us to the third tactic, triangulation. This one is particularly insidious because it involves dragging a third party into the dynamic. The narcissist might pit you against someone else, spreading lies or half-truths to create tension and competition. Or they might use another person to validate their perspective, making you feel isolated and outnumbered. Nietzsche warned us about the dangers of the herd mentality, where individuals lose their sense of self in the chaos of groupthink. Malignant narcissists weaponize this phenomenon to isolate you further. They create a scenario where you feel like the outsider, the one who's always wrong, always misunderstood. And as your isolation deepens, your dependence on the narcissist grows. Take a moment to think about this. Have you ever felt like you were fighting a battle on multiple fronts against the narcissist, against their allies, and even against yourself? This is not a coincidence. It's a deliberate strategy designed to exhaust you, to break you down until you no longer have the strength to resist. Nietzsche would call this a form of spiritual vampirism. The narcissist feeds on your energy, your willpower, your sense of identity, leaving you hollowed out and depleted. But here's the thing, this dynamic only works if you don't recognize it. If you're unaware of the manipulation, you'll keep playing into their hands, giving away your power piece by piece. The first step to breaking free is understanding how these tactics operate and, more importantly, understanding why they're used. Malignant narcissists manipulate because they lack the strength to build their own power. They cannot create, so they destroy. They cannot rise, so they pull others down. Nietzsche believed that the highest form of power is self-overcoming, the ability to face your own flaws and grow stronger. Malignant narcissists refuse to do this work. Instead, they externalize their inner chaos, turning it into a weapon they use against others. So here's the question that matters most: how do you protect yourself from someone who thrives on your confusion and doubt? We'll explore that in the next part. Breaking the chains: how to reclaim your power from a malignant narcissist. Now that we've uncovered the sinister tactics malignant narcissists use, gaslighting, projection, and triangulation, let's talk about how to break free. Because here's the truth: while their manipulation is often invisible, your ability to resist and reclaim your power is not. Nietzsche believed in the concept of self-overcoming, the idea that true strength lies in rising above obstacles, including the ones others impose on you. And this is exactly what you must do when dealing with a malignant narcissist: not simply escape their manipulation, but rise above it, becoming stronger in the process. The first step to reclaiming your power is awareness. You must recognize the manipulation for what it is: not a reflection of your worth, your sanity, or your reality, but a calculated strategy to control and diminish you. Nietzsche would remind us that knowledge is power. Once you understand the mechanisms of gaslighting, projection, and triangulation, they lose much of their potency. Why? Because manipulation thrives in darkness. It's like a parasite that can only survive if it remains hidden. When you shine the light of awareness on it, you begin to reclaim your autonomy. Ask yourself, where have I been second-guessing myself? Where have I allowed someone else to define my reality? These are uncomfortable questions, but they're necessary. Nietzsche believed that confronting uncomfortable truths is the foundation of growth. By identifying the areas where the narcissist has planted seeds of doubt, you can begin to uproot them. This process requires brutal honesty, not just about the narcissist's behavior, but about your own patterns. For example, have you been too quick to doubt yourself? Too eager to take responsibility for conflicts that aren't yours? Awareness isn't just about seeing the narcissist clearly, it's about seeing yourself clearly too. The second step is detachment. This doesn't mean cutting off all contact immediately, though in some cases that may be necessary. Detachment is about emotional separation. It's about refusing to let the narcissist control your inner world. Nietzsche believed that the truly strong individual is self-reliant, untethered from the opinions and manipulations of others. To detach emotionally, you must stop seeking validation from the narcissist. Understand this: they will never give you the closure, understanding, or respect you crave. Their power lies in keeping you chasing those things. The moment you stop looking to them for validation, you take away their control over you. Here's a profound question: what would your life look like if you no longer needed anyone else's approval? Think about the freedom that would bring. Detachment is not indifference, it's liberation. It allows you to engage with others from a place of strength rather than need. When you detach emotionally from the narcissist, their manipulations lose their grip. You can see their tactics for what they are: attempts to provoke, destabilize, and control. And when you stop reacting, you become an immovable force, something Nietzsche would call a master of oneself. The third step is boundary setting. If awareness is the foundation and detachment of the pillar, boundaries are the walls that protect your inner world. Narcissists hate boundaries because they limit their access to you. But here's the thing: boundaries are not for them, they're for you. They're not about changing the narcissist's behavior, because you can't control that. They're about defining what you will and will not tolerate. Nietzsche believed in the concept of amor fati, the love of one's fate. This means accepting what you cannot change and focusing instead on what you can control. Boundaries are your way of taking control. They're your way of saying, "This is my space, my energy, my reality, and you don't get to invade it." Setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if the narcissist pushes back, and they will. But remember, discomfort is part of growth. Nietzsche taught us that struggle is not something to avoid, it's something to embrace. Every time you enforce a boundary, you become stronger. Every time you say no to manipulation, you say yes to your own power. Finally, the most profound step: reclaim your narrative. Narcissists thrive on distorting your story, your sense of self, your memories, your reality. To truly break free, you must take back control of that narrative. Nietzsche believed that individuals have the power to create their own meaning, their own values, their own truth. You are not the person the narcissist tried to make you believe you are. You are not weak, crazy, or inadequate. You are capable, resilient, and worthy of living a life free from their shadow. So, let me ask you this: what kind of life do you want to create for yourself? Not the life the narcissist tried to impose on you, but the life that reflects your true essence. This is the ultimate act of defiance against a malignant narcissist, not just surviving their manipulation, but thriving beyond it. Nietzsche would call this the path to the Übermensch, the higher self that emerges when you overcome trials and transform them into strength. Awareness, detachment, boundaries, and reclaiming your narrative, these are the tools that will help you break free. But remember, this isn't just about escaping manipulation, it's about rising above it, becoming stronger, and taking back your power. Because in the end, the greatest revenge against a malignant narcissist is this: to live a life they can no longer touch. The power of self-mastery, becoming untouchable to manipulation. At this point, we've explored how malignant narcissists manipulate, how they prey on your vulnerabilities, and how you can begin to reclaim your power. But here's the philosophical truth: Nietzsche would emphasize freedom from manipulation isn't just about escaping toxic individuals, it's about mastering yourself. The ultimate defense against a narcissist or any manipulator is to strengthen your inner world to the point where no external force can shake you. This is the essence of self-mastery, and it's the key to becoming untouchable. So, what does self-mastery look like in practice? It begins with cultivating emotional resilience. Malignant narcissists thrive on your emotional reactions, your anger, your fear, your need for validation. Every time you react, you feed their control. But when you develop emotional resilience, you become like a vast, still ocean. No matter how much they try to stir the surface, the depths remain untouched. Nietzsche would call this becoming the master of your own chaos. It's not about suppressing your emotions, it's about understanding them, owning them, and choosing how to respond. Ask yourself, how often do I let others dictate my emotions? Be honest. Emotional resilience requires awareness of your triggers, the things that make you react impulsively. Once you identify these, you can start to rewire your responses. For example, instead of reacting to a narcissist's provocation with anger or defensiveness, you could respond with calm detachment or not respond at all. This isn't about letting them win, it's about refusing to play their game in the first place. The second pillar of self-mastery is developing a strong sense of self. Malignant narcissists deliberately try to erode your identity, making you doubt your worth and your reality. To counter this, you must root yourself in your own truth. Nietzsche believed that each person has the power to create their own values, their own meaning, their own identity. This means defining who you are not based on others' approval or expectations, but based on your own principles and desires. Here's a deep question to ponder: who are you when no one else is watching? This is the version of yourself you must cultivate. Spend time reflecting on your values, your goals, and your strengths. Write them down if you have to. The clearer your sense of self, the harder it becomes for anyone to manipulate or distort it. Finally, self-mastery involves embracing what Nietzsche called amor fati, the love of your fate. This means accepting not only the good in your life, but also the challenges, the pain, and yes, even the narcissists you've encountered. Why? Because every trial you face is an opportunity to grow. Every manipulation you endure teaches you something about your resilience, your boundaries, and your capacity for strength. When you embrace this mindset, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of manipulation and start seeing yourself as a creator of your own destiny. So, let me ask you, what would your life look like if you were truly untouchable? Imagine a world where no insult, no provocation, no manipulation could shake your inner peace. That's the power of self-mastery. And the best part, it's already within you. The narcissist didn't take it, they just made you forget it was there. Now, it's time to reclaim it. From victim to victor, transforming pain into purpose. Now that we've delved into reclaiming your power and achieving self-mastery, let's take it one step further. Nietzsche often spoke of turning suffering into strength, of taking life's most painful experiences and forging them into tools for transformation. This is the ultimate act of defiance against a malignant narcissist, not just surviving their manipulation, but using the pain they caused as fuel to become stronger, wiser, and more purposeful than ever before. You move from victim to victor, and in doing so, you transcend the very framework they tried to trap you in. Let's begin with this idea: pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. The narcissist likely left you with wounds, emotional scars, self-doubt, or even a fractured sense of reality. But here's the key: healing doesn't come from denying the pain or pretending it didn't happen. It comes from confronting it head-on and deciding what it will mean for you. Nietzsche believed that life's greatest trials are necessary for growth, that they are the crucible through which we become our highest selves. He famously said, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger," but there's a hidden layer to that quote. It's not the pain itself that strengthens you, it's how you respond to it. Ask yourself, what has this experience taught me about myself? Maybe it's shown you your resilience, your capacity for empathy, or the areas of your life where you need to set strong boundaries. Maybe it's revealed patterns you need to break or values you need to reaffirm. The pain the narcissist caused can become a mirror, reflecting truths about yourself that you might not have seen otherwise. And once you've acknowledged those truths, you can begin to transform them into purpose. The next step is to channel this newfound strength into action. Nietzsche believed in the concept of becoming, the idea that life is not about reaching a final destination, but about evolving, growing, and constantly striving toward your highest potential. How can you use your experience to fuel this process? Perhaps it's by pursuing a passion you've neglected, building healthier relationships, or helping others who face similar struggles. When you take the pain and turn it into purpose, you not only heal yourself but also create something meaningful out of what was meant to destroy you.